Alright, so I'm going to do a video that shows how to zero the gap, and one way if you have a problem where you're running, maybe it's running into the bottom or it's going too far and it's going into error, you need to re-zero the gap to get it back to someplace sane where you can start over again. On newer software, you can, if you look at the tooltip here on the home button, you'll see it says Control Shift to zero the offset. So if I hold Control Shift and hit the home button right here on the gap, it'll re-zero everything so that we can get it back to where we can then move it. You know, it'll enable in home, and then we can move it to someplace sane. But if you're just in a regular situation, you won't need to do that. But if you can't do it from here, if the software you have doesn't have this, then the way you do it is open up the PG admin and go to motion params, and then way down at the very bottom you'll see Z home offset. You can set that to 0. That's the same thing as zeroing this. That's basically what happens when you control Shift and click on this. It's going to zero that. So, but in a normal situation, if you're just trying to zero the gap, then what you need to do is, I usually like to have the head disabled, the gantry disabled. Of course, this has to be home because we're going to be moving it up and down to try to get it where we like it. And having these disabled helps you just move the head around. So you also want to have the table. You want some styrene on there, and you want it sucking down. You want something smooth. It doesn't have to be styrene, but something smooth. You don't use Coro. All right, so I just once I'm ready to get it going, then I move the head over, and so I have it pushed back so that I can see the cards. I can see how it feels. And what you'll do is adjust it up or down using, you can use usually when you get close you're going to need to do these guys. They're going to bump it very small amount, but get it to where you like it, where the cards they slip underneath. I usually use 2 cards, and then what you do is you go to the configure window and open it, and then you're going to hit 0, and you want to do that while it's still over the material. So here I go. So I clicked on 0, and what it's going to do is go up half-inch steps at a time, and it's basically reading the sensor position. At the same time, it's saving the position of the actual motor. So this is just doing a calibration. Let it go through all the steps, don't move it. And it's almost done. And once it's done, it'll drop back down. So now it's done. So it's dropped back down, and then you want to verify that you have a reading here of 0. And so if you don't get a reading of 0, you want to do it again, but most likely you're going to have a reading of 0, and that's what it is to zero the gap. So now the next time you do an auto gap, it's going to position the Z so that it is 2 cards away from anything you put underneath it. That's it.